this is Jill Ciminillo, and this week's car du jour is a Cadillac CT4-V Blackwing. And I'm really not going to go into a lot of specs and details. I'm not going to talk to you about the 0-60 mile per hour time. I'm not doing a burnout in this car. I will give you a couple of driving impressions, but if you want all those other details, I'm telling you other people have done it. Go to Radius Rides, go to Alex on Autos. That's not this. Instead, what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to tell you the 7 reasons why I think this is probably the coolest effing Cadillac I have ever driven. So let's take a closer look right now. First up, let's talk about this eye-popping electric blue color. I've had more than one person come up to me on the street in parking lots and ask me if this is actually a stock factory color from Cadillac, and yep, it is. It's a $625 option, and I think you can only get it on the Blackwing series, but this is a stock color from Cadillac, and yeah, this is the #1 reason why I think this is a cool Cadillac. Thing number 2 on my list of why I think this Cadillac is so cool is going to be in the details. And yeah, from the embossed V that you see on the headrest to the red piping on the seats to the stitching to even just the design that you see on the seating pattern, everything on this Cadillac CT4-V Blackwing is just very buttoned down. You've got carbon fiber on the steering wheel. You have a special plaque here that identifies this unique vehicle. So each owner will walk away with a special plaque on the steering wheel. Then you have carbon fiber on this console area, and this is also a particular favorite, although it's also a not favorite, and I'll get to that at the end. But I love how this looks with the etched symbols here and the gear selection just kind of embossed into this metal piece on the shift knob. All the details just work really well and look really good, and frankly, I'll be honest with you, I don't know that I have ever seen a Cadillac that has looked this good. The third item on my list kind of falls into the details category, but I'm making it a separate item anyway because I want to. And that is the fact that you have this key fob here that is going to be the same color as the wheels and the brake rotors. And I think that's a nice attention to detail. I think that's a really cool feature that you don't see on any other vehicle. In fact, I don't think I've seen it on any vehicle other than a Cadillac. We go back inside for the 4th item on my list, and that is going to be the fact that wireless CarPlay and Android Auto are standard. On top of that, you have a wireless charging pad right here, so a nice logical location right underneath the screen. And this wireless charging pad is actually one of the better ones I've seen. Your phone can move a little bit on this pad and it's not going to disrupt the connection. But the best thing about this charging pad is the fact that when you put your phone in here, it is not going to overheat. Cadillac has somehow put like a cool pad or something under here that keeps your phone from getting hot while it is charging. And I will be honest with you, General Motors is one of the only automakers who's managed to master this, and that in itself makes this Cadillac really flippin' cool. Okay, you cannot talk about a Cadillac V-Series and not put power somewhere on your list. So I'm gonna put this at thing number 5, even though it's actually at the top of my list of reasons why I think this is cool. So maybe I did this a little bit backwards. But at any rate, this is equipped with a 3.6 liter turbocharged V6 engine, delivers 472 horsepower and 445 pound-feet of torque. That power equation, combined with the fact that this is actually a subcompact vehicle, so remember the ATS, the really compact ATS Cadillac, that's what this is replacing. So the size and the weight of this vehicle plus that power just make this really fun. It's great in highway merges, it's really fun on fast accelerations, and thing number 6 on my list makes it even cooler. Okay, here we go. We are at thing number 6, and it has to do with this little V button right here. And when you hit that, you go into V mode, and you have the ability to adjust what your V mode is. So as you can see, as we have it customized here, the engine sound is way up, the suspension is well balanced, the steering is well balanced, the throttle response is increased, and your brake feel is also well balanced. But you can customize this and make it your very own V mode, and to activate it, all you have to do is press this button. I think that's pretty cool. All right, it is time to get into my last and biggest reason why I think this is the coolest flipping Cadillac I have ever driven, and that is the fact that this manual transmission right here, this 6-speed manual, it is standard. This is the standard transmission on the AT4-V Blackwing, and I love it. It is a really smooth shifter, but I will say the clutch is a little bit on the stiff side, so it's maybe not going to be an everyday driver, but I love the manual transmission. I love that it's standard, and it's a good one. All right, for you automatic people out there, there is a 10-speed automatic transmission available, but come on. If you're going to drive a car like this, don't you want a transmission like this? I do. Okay, before I get into some very brief driving impressions and close out this video, I do want to talk about two things. Two things that I don't like on this vehicle, but believe me, they are not deal breakers by any stretch of the imagination. First up, even though we love the fact that wireless Apple CarPlay is standard, look at the size of this screen. This screen is 8 inches. That is an 8-inch screen. And in an era of large screenage, this is not it. This looks like a base, teeny tiny, small screen that you would see on a not luxury vehicle. I'm not going to name names. I'm just going to say a not luxury vehicle. I mean, I like the volume dial, and I like, the tuning knob. I like the buttons and things for your HVAC controls, but this is really small. Not a deal breaker because, by the way, with this and this, who cares? Another thing that I don't really like about this vehicle is not this, but this in a way. I alluded to it earlier, but this is metal. And we've been experiencing some pretty cold temperatures in Chicago the past couple of weeks, and every time I put my hand on this gear shift, it like burns my hand with cold. I can only imagine what that's going to be like in the summer, in the heat. So yeah, you're gonna have to think of some kind of a solution so that you don't burn your hand or freeze burn your hand when you are shifting before the cabin temperature has the chance to even out and then neutralize what's going on with this metal disc here. Obviously in the winter I'm gonna wear gloves, but in the summer, I don't know. I've heard people put socks over their gear shift. I just wish this was maybe a material that wasn't going to heat up or get super cold. But again, looks really cool. I've now been behind the wheel of the Cadillac CT4-V Blackwing for 7 days, and that means I've had a really good chance to test this in a lot of different road conditions and driving situations. And what I want to say is this vehicle definitely falls into the category of a vehicle that I could own. Yep, the manual transmission definitely pushed it over the edge, but just everything else about this vehicle wins. I love the short throw shift, and while the clutch is a little bit on the stiff side, it's not unruly. I was in stop and go traffic for an hour coming back from recording a radio show, and it didn't bother me. Now, driving through the city, lots of potholes, lots of uneven road surfaces, and definitely have to be a little bit careful there because of the stiffer suspension is gonna but overall, this is a fun, peppy, easy to drive car, and it's very versatile. The fact that it is on the subcompact side of the spectrum makes it a great urban driver, and the fact that you have V mode and 472 horsepower just makes it fun. The other thing that I want to say that I really like about this vehicle, and it should have made my 7 list or maybe a top 8 list now, is the fact that this Cadillac CT4-V Blackwing has a base price of $60,000. $60,000 for all this. Now, this test vehicle did add $12,000 in options, but even at $72,000, I don't know, it still kind of works. Especially when you consider the fact that the average transaction price for a car these days is $49,000. To get luxury coolness, lots of really nice details, and wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless charging pad that works, $60,000 makes sense to me. So if I had to sum the Cadillac CT4-V Blackwing up in one sentence, I would say that it is a fun to drive vehicle that would be great to take to the track, but it also makes sense as a daily driver. So that's it. That is what I have for you in this week's Car du Jour, the Cadillac CT4-V Blackwing. In case you missed it, I really liked it.